Buddy. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are ya? How you doing? It's 8:02 on a beautiful, beautiful Friday morning. I'm WESH2 First Warning meteorologist Eric Burris. This is Coffee Talk. We get together 7 days a week, rain or shine, tropical threat or fall delight. I want to thank you for joining me. Boy, what a difference just a couple of days makes, right? The weather is, mentioned this the other day, and I love it. It seems like we've got a new chapter here in Central Florida. Let me take you outside live. This is our Tower Cam network, and look at that. I said this yesterday. I'll say it again today. The sun will come out tomorrow. And in today's case, it came out today, and it was beautiful. Just some high, thin clouds over top of us. We've got a very different weather story today than what we've had the last couple of days. Our first warning, live Doppler radar, quiet in the metro, moving down to the south, Indian River, St. Lucie, Okeechobee counties, a few showers coming in. And I can't rule out a little bit of that, perhaps if you're around the Mico area. But otherwise, this, I think, is the bigger story. This is fantastic, my friends. 69 in Orlando. It feels so nice outside. It really feels so nice outside. 66 degrees in DeLand. Are you kidding me? 65 in the Villages, and it's 61 in Ocala. What a beautiful morning it is. What a beautiful morning it is. Along the shoreline, it's still nice. It's just not necessarily as cool, right? Annie says windows open. I like that. Brian, good morning to you. Wendy, good morning to you. So no internet at my house. So we're doing Coffee Talk kind of the same way that we would be doing Coffee Talk if I was sitting in the car, which means I apologize if it's not the best signal. It is what it is. We're just going to all work together. Taylor says, I was actually chilly yesterday. It feels amazing out. So thankful it wasn't hotter than. I'm going to stop reading that. But yes, I would agree. It was lovely yesterday. It was beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful little pattern that we are entering into. And I remember with Wilma coming through, and this is years and years and years ago, right? But I remember with Wilma coming through, we almost welcomed fall in just after, and it's kind of like that's where we're at again. So yeah, it's beautiful, really and truly. A sprinkle in the forecast, a mix of clouds and sunshine. Temperatures today, upper 70s through 1 o'clock, lower 80s through 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's going to be a nice one. Susie says, still no internet either. I'm wearing a jacket. Isn't it nice? Yeah, Cats, Tats, and Gats says, I love when a hurricane drags cold in behind it. We deserve it, for goodness sake. I'd like to think that the weather forecast today reflects that. So high temperatures in the lower range of the 80s. I mean, this is gorgeous. This is really beautiful. 81 in Orlando, 80 degrees in Ocala, 80 degrees in Daytona Beach. Really nice. We're not done and over with everything, though. I want you to understand, because Milton continues to pull away, we're still getting this kind of return flow. So coastal flood warnings are in effect until 4 o'clock today. Beach erosion a concern, low-lying kind of areas that normally would be susceptible to issues there certainly still could be. There's also high surf advisory. Breakers are running 6 to 12 feet. It is a mess over there. But look at the temperatures. We are well below average. We deserve this. We deserve this. Man, this is what will help us through. There are so many people that have a real uphill climb to make, whether it's waiting for power to come back on, or whether it's waiting for water to come back on, waiting for a crew to help remove a tree from a house. Man, or then there's so many people that endured flooding. Again, I know some folks that have been flooded out of their homes after just getting back in from Ian. I cannot imagine that. So I just want to send all of my positive wishes to anybody that has been impacted by Milton, whether it's flooding or no matter how large or how small. And whether you study this stuff, but there's this whole other human element when people are so impacted. And I don't think that any amount of education, I don't think any amount of experience can ever really get you through the feeling of helplessness. And so to that point, I am just so sorry for the folks that are still having to deal with that. It hurts me. It just hurts me so much. It's just surreal and in the absolute worst way possible. Really, really, really. Some of the rain numbers are just wild from Hurricane Milton. Ormond Beach saw almost 2 feet of rain. Port Orange, well over a foot. DeBerry, over a foot. Ormond Beach to Leon. So, I mean, these numbers are just some of the additional numbers. Lake Helen, 15 inches. Claremont, 13 inches. Oviedo, 13 inches. Hollywood Studios over by Disney. Well, by Disney, that is Disney. 12 inches of rain. These numbers hurt. It's so tough. The good news is when we look to the forecast over the next several days, it's a very different ball game than it was yesterday. All right, now that Milton's out of here, the models are starting to clear things out and we're getting a better idea. Today, a beautiful day. Tomorrow, Sunday, a beautiful day. And then it kind of looks like we're trying to get these fronts to sneak through here, which means that we should be starting to get into somewhat of a normalcy pattern for fall. Look at Wednesday, Thursday. We'll look at the models together. We'll look at Wednesday, Thursday, but look at that. Wow. 79 on Wednesday and Thursday for a high temperature. Man. For those of us that get to enjoy it, don't let that be lost. I don't mean to be like preachy, but like that's a blessing that we get to enjoy because there's so many people that are going to be out with gloves on and chainsaws trying to cut trees apart and put their lives back together. And at least I am able to communicate a beautiful forecast. I don't control it. I don't have any ability to help it all, but at least there's a positive message here, and I'm so grateful for it. So I know that my in-laws have some things that hopefully once we'll be able to get over there, we can help them out with it. But it's nice weather for picking up shingles or for trying to mop out our homes, man. James, thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. Thank you. Temps are perfect here in Ocala this morning. It is beautiful. Melinda says, may our spiritual support, our communities, government help us. We're praying for all those who are helping. And I said this yesterday, and I really do believe it. Always look for the helpers, right? Like always look for the people that are out there, the front line men and women that are in many cases putting their lives in jeopardy to try and make sure to help people. That's a big thing. Don't let that be lost on you. Anna's asking about, are those strange wedge tornadoes in South Florida? Explain. It's very weird. It was very weird. Thank you, Misty. I appreciate that. How did my brother do? I know he evacuated. I think he's here this morning. Frank, have you gotten back to your house yet? I'm curious how things are. You were spared the major storm surge from Milton, so I'm curious how things went. Elizabeth, thank you. Gladys, thank you. Tiffany says, please remember, if you're using a generator to turn off your circuit breaker, you could save a lineman's life. That's true. Backfeeding that power to the lines could kill somebody that's trying to help. So please, yeah, Elliot, Mr. Rogers always said, look for the helpers. That's it. And so if, I think it's a good moment to say, like, if if you're in a situation where things are a little tough for you and your kids are a little scared, or even if you're a little scared, it's okay, right? These things are very emotional. Just remember, look for the helpers, right? They're there. Oh, they're there. I was driving home yesterday and it looked like a big, beautiful old tree came down on a condo building, kind of an apartment building. And what did I see? I saw a bunch of people trying to get it cut apart so that the people that live there can evaluate the issues and see what they can do to start picking back up. Found the helpers. They were already there, right? So yeah, Scott, thank you very much. Steve, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. I've said it before and I'll say it again. As far as I go, listen, I'm grateful for your trust. I will only ever work hard to keep your trust. All right. Don't normally get those devastating tornadoes, Roxanne said. Yeah, it was wild. And initial data regarding that odd tornado outbreak, the initial data states that this was actually the second highest number of tornado warnings ever issued on a single day. It's not confirmed, these are only warnings. So, but the super outbreak of 2011 had 134 tornado warnings. In Florida, there were 126 tornado warnings from this event, followed by Tennessee in the super outbreak, 124, and then in 98, 117, and et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah, I would say the tornado outbreak that started prior to Milton making landfall kind of started right as Kellyanne and I was getting off shift. And it was one of those like, what is happening? Oh man, I had texted Tony watching that line coming in and I said, Tony, you're about to get really busy. And you could just see when he walked in his face, he was kind of like, he was preparing, you know what I mean? He was like preparing for what was going to be a very rough go because, contrary to popular belief, and maybe not in this audience, but there are people that think we love to talk for 12 hours at a time. We love tornadoes. We love this stuff. And, I feel like I hope that you all understand we do not love any of that. We do not love tracking devastation. It's part of our job. I would much rather sit here and talk to you about how beautiful it's going to be outside. So understand that. And then, of course, in the aftermath, understand that looking at this, that does not make any of us feel better, right? What makes me feel good is seeing these numbers going down. What makes me feel heartful is knowing that the helpers are out and that we will be able to get back to normal. It's going to be a really darn tough road for some of us. Yesterday, I saw over 200,000 in Polk County without power. That number's down to 130,000. Volusia County still has a significant power outage there, right? 130,000 there as well. Seminole County, that number, when I last checked yesterday, was nearly 100,000. It's 54,000. Orange County, I don't remember what it was up to yesterday, but 98,000 without power. These numbers are getting better. So these people are working hard. So I saw somebody had mentioned it. Denise says we just had 2 lineman trucks pull up on our road, Howard Boulevard, Longwood. What a beautiful sight to see. Well, you know what, Denise? Go out and thank them if you can. I mean, they're working 12-hour days, sleeping on God knows what. Go thank them. Any of us, if I see him, what was funny? I tried yesterday. On my drive home, I tried to. This is so. I swung over to a Dunkin' Donuts on my drive home, and they were open, and it looked like they had put a cone at the drive-through. So I kind of left, and as I was leaving, I saw a line truck come up. And then I kind of turned out to go back home. And as I turned back to go home, I saw the staffer from the Dunkin' walking out. And all I could think of is, oh my gosh, I hope, your mind takes you places. And I was like, I hope that Like it looked like they were closing. They maybe opened up for a little bit or what have you. I hope that that was a Dunkin' worker going out and offering like, hey, we're closing, but what do you all need? You know, I don't know. I don't know that that's the way it went, but that's in my mind. That's what I would have liked to see. So yeah. Lori says, McGregor Boulevard, where are the trucks? Well, so understand, as I understand it, the way that this works is they try to tackle what will be the most impactful first, right? So they're gonna do what can help the most people at a time and then work into smaller and smaller and smaller. But also if the people across the street from you have power and you don't, maybe it's a one-off. And if that's the case, it may be a little while. So make sure that the utility knows if you're without power and go from there. Yesterday we were up to nearly 30% of Florida without power. It's 21%. I know that that's still a significant number, but given the hit that we had, they're doing great work. Look at just along the shoreline there, 67% without power in Hillsborough County, probably more like 75% in Pinellas County, but these numbers are changing. They're little by little by little, they're changing. So we're getting there. I think that should not be gone without, and truly should not be overlooked. Sarah says power crews work up to 16-hour days in storm restoration. The back office also works these hours. 100%. And I don't know anybody that works in a back office, but I do have several high school friends that work for the power companies that keep, I guess there's a licensing or a training. They keep their training, and they're kind of, I guess they're like, he's like a manager, but when hurricanes hit, he goes out. He takes whatever loaner truck that they have and he goes out. So, yeah. Mike says at the bar here at the hotel in Charleston last night, there were 7 linemen that were on their way to Florida. I bought them all a drink. And Mike, I thank you for that. I think the saying of look for the helpers goes absolutely true, Yeah. Troy's asking, is he lagging for anyone else? I don't have internet at my house, Troy, so I'm actually running Coffee Talk out of Wesh. So the graphics and the feed itself should be fine. My camera and my audio, God only knows what it's going to be like. It's coming over cell phone. So I'm going to do the best I can. Yeah. Marion County has gone from 60,000 down to 32,000. They're working hard and fast. They're doing great work. Yeah. Oh, man. Cats, tats, and gats. My sister-in-law works in the office at Duke. She's on 18-hour shifts. At what point is it just like that's I mean, I'm tired and I'm not working 18-hour shifts, at least not officially. Tony and I, we're all up, and when we're not on TV for our 12-hour TV shift, we're still posting, we're still doing, but an 18-hour shift, that's, God bless them. Man, oh man. Yvette says we just got the power back. And for those that want it back, they're working hard. They're working hard. Polk here, Karen says, friends from South Haines City live in a mobile home, stayed here for safety. A tornado hit their park, missing their home by 4 trailers. But the roads are blocked from the homes that were hit, so they had to stay here another night. How do they feel, Karen? Seriously. Wow. Frank says, coming in great on my end. All right. I'm doing the best I can. I feel like this is the way life is. The older I get, the more I feel about this with life. We're doing the best we can. Like, am I going to be perfect? Heck no. Is everything I do going to be perfect? Absolutely not. But I can promise you this. I'm doing the best I can. And if it's not good enough for you, poof. If it's good enough, I appreciate it. I'm just trying to get through the day, y'all. All right, so today is beautiful. Highs in the lower 80s. A touch warmer the next couple of days. Still gorgeous. Still 2 green checkmark days. My neighbor Charles says, I'm annoyed but glad. Finally bought a generator where we didn't lose power. Dude, I don't know how we didn't lose power, but hey, the truth of the matter is treat that generator like somewhat of an insurance policy. It's there so that when you need it, it's there. And when you don't need it, you still had it, right? Said I. All right. I'm not a hyper at all. And you all know this. So I'm just going to bring this up. I'm going to pop my back for a second. I'm going to take a sip of coffee. Should we talk about the tropics? There was a lot of people that started posting about Hurricane Nadine hitting us. And I had to do something yesterday because you all know I hate hype. And I'm not going to sit here and put off Track of the Tropics because Hurricane Nadine is hitting us. There is one area of interest in the Atlantic coming off of the Cabo Verde Islands, has a medium 40% chance of development. Okay? So that is something to watch. I want you to understand, though, and I mentioned this on that video I did yesterday. There's Leslie's comb. There's Milton's comb. Whatever this next thing could be. I'm going to say this again. I just don't understand. Like, can we talk for a minute? Like, how in the heck? Look, I know. Let me go back. My grandmother passed in her 90s. And when she passed, she said, I'm not ever, I think, going to be ready to die. Follow me here. I don't think I'll be ready to die, but I'm ready to die. And I said, well, what do you mean? And she said, well, everybody around me has passed away. I'm an old lady. I've lived a great life. And I feel like the world has moved on. And I feel like the older I get, the more I feel like I understand it in a much less like impactful version of that. I cannot believe that I've been doing TV weather for 22 years, and I cannot believe the amount of people that try to literally spew absolute jargon and get the clicks and the likes and the da. And then it's like, as I get older, I start to see, Annette, Grandma, I feel like I'm starting to get what you mean. I feel like I'm starting to get that. Zeb, I love talking to your grandma. She was the best. What are the odds that Zeb hears me in that moment who knew my grandmother? That's what she said. And I feel like I get it. Like, I had to do a video yesterday because my entire feed was like, get ready, there's another one. And it's like, I haven't even slept more than 4 hours dealing with Milton. You guys are already talking about a fake one. So anyway, in the tropics, there is one area of interest off the coast of Africa that has a medium chance of development over the next 7 days' time. Now, that said, let's look at the models because, as I mentioned yesterday on that little video, there may be other areas to check out. So let's do it. And for those of you that are hanging out here that are new since Milton for Coffee Talk, I can promise you this. I will always show you data. I'm never going to hide anything from you. I will slap around a little bit of fakeness here and there when people want to throw that fakeness. We'll go over everything. I am the anti-hype. And it's funny. It's funny. Somebody was like, you're never going to get promoted at WESH because you don't hype. And I'm like, well, that's a statement. You know what? I can't control the things I can't control, but I'm not going to hype. I'll tell you that much for free. And WESH has never asked me to hype. So to that point, it is what it is. If anybody ever asked me to hype, and this is, I swear to you, and I've said this before and I say it again, if anybody's ever asked me to hype, I would leave. Okay. So just understand, my desire to hype is thus that I'd go work in any other industry. Okay. All right. So there's Milton. This is the GFS model. There's Milton. Good riddance. Get the heck out of here. Don't ever want to see you again. High pressure builds him. That's these reddish, orangish, these warmer colors. That's the nice weather we're experiencing right now. There's a little front there. You see that? That little blue line? It's little front coming through. That's why Wednesday on the 7-day forecast looked so nice. All right. Now, on the bottom of the screen, There's something right near the K in talk. Some model runs last week were showing a hurricane hitting us. Some models last week were showing a hurricane not hitting us. You can see very clearly a little CAG low moving into Central America, doing nothing, whole lot of nothing. There's some lowered pressure in the Caribbean, some lowered pressure in the Gulf. 1,004 millibar, that's a sloppy low. That's nothing more, okay? Could something form? Sure. Could something not form? Sure. Right? We look at broad patterns when I put out my hurricane forecast. Let's look at the European together. We look at broad patterns when I put out my hurricane forecast. But when it comes to modeling, don't bite into anything too sharply. Case in point, Milton, up until like Thursday, it was just a bunch of rain for Florida. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Friday, it was just like the models were like, wake up, and it's a better little makeup. You wanted to. What was it on the table? You wanted to. Right? It went all system of a down on us, and we had to track a hurricane moving through. I don't think you trust. Okay. See, there's the European showing something east. Don't love that. But again, that's Sunday the 20th. Front comes in. Maybe it sweeps it out. The point that I'm trying to make is hurricanes are a part of weather. And if you were to just grab onto one run of one model, then sure, you're going to find whatever you want because they're math equations and they do their thing. They're always going to show different information. They're just math equations running raw, right? But for right now, Hurricane Center's not picking up on anything. Now, I would say this, in all honesty, I would say long term, there's an area of interest down there. Anything developing? We'll see. I'm not overly concerned. And I'm just honestly like, I don't want to work any more 12-hour shifts. I don't want to sleep at the television station. I don't want to do all of those things. I don't. And I'm not overly concerned. Models are going to show it this time. Models are not going to show it that time. You know. Also, for all of you that got the reference, the system of death. Thank you. For all of you that got the reference. Love you all. Oh, man. Jenny never pegged you the system of down. Dude. Listen. That genre is probably top 2. See, I'm always throwing out surprises at you. Oh, man, it is what it is. I want accuracy, not hype. Right, that's it. Like, I feel like when the weather was bad, and I'm curious, because I feel like my biggest thing as I get older in this career is tone matters, right? Like you could sit here and if you just pick your voice up a little bit more, it's going to really come completely differently than if you keep your voice here and we have a conversation. And I feel like the older I get, and I remember like Amy Sweezy was so good at this. So many people that I have worked with. Have a good walk, you guys. There are people that I have worked with that are older than I am that really helped me understand how tone matters. My very first chief meteorologist, Glenn Richards, tone matters. And so I think that it's so important. And so I just want you like for me on a completely sidebar level, like that's where I'm at. I really try to focus on tone because we should never freak out. Even if it, and I've said this before, like even if it was a category 5 hurricane that was heading right for Brevard County, it's like, all right, have a stern tone, but you don't need to be talking about this. This is it. What is that going to do? It's going to ramp up everybody's emotions, and we don't need to do that crap. Tone matters, right? Yukon, yeah, he's retired. God bless him. That's all my goal. I told my kids at the time they grew up, especially when they were teens, and had a tone with me. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, Wendy's asking about the temperature in the Gulf. I haven't checked. Hold on. Yeah, so we had like 13,000 yesterday. There's about 2,000 this morning. across the various platforms. Whatever you're seeing is going to be on your platform. The number that I have for an audience is across the 5 platforms that I stream to. All right, sea surface temperatures in the Gulf. Y'all, awesome. It really didn't cool. Interesting. I mean, there's a ribbon here, like 85, 86, but the water temperatures are still really hot. Interesting. So there you go. Now, behind Milton, you know, the sun came out, and so it perhaps had an opportunity to come up just a little bit. But yeah, it's still very, very hot. Yeah. Thank you, Justine. That's why texts can be so misunderstood, because you don't hear the tone. Frank, honest to God, I feel like that's the truth. That's the truth. I really feel that way. Maybe I should just stop texting people. It's overwhelmingly annoying anyway. Robin says, please don't talk much about another system out there. Recover from one at a time. Don't borrow sorrow. Oh, no. We talked about it. I hope I calmed everybody the heck down, and then we moved on. So we won't be seeing feisty Eric during hurricane coverage. There are moments that we let it out. Like I had to call somebody out on my street for chopping down a tree limbs and leaving the debris out during a hurricane. Like, what are you doing? Not on my street in my neighborhood, but you know. Yeah. It cooled, but not enough. Yeah. As Dennis Phillips says, don't panic. I'll tell you when to panic. But there's truth to that. And also, Dennis Phillips has been doing weather a long dang time. And one of my first bosses brought Dennis from the West Coast to Tampa. And many of you old timers will know, no judgment and no offense, Bob Jordan was the guy that brought Dennis Phillips to Tampa when he was the boss over there. Out of genuine curiosity, could the later hurricanes cause a look into extending hurricane season dates? You know, tropical systems have happened during every month of the year. So to that point, like, it is what it is. But that's out of my realm of control. You know, I feel like the water temperatures, do we shuffle it this way or that way? We'll see. You know, they stopped short of starting hurricane season 15 days earlier, but they started putting out advisories. So for all intents and purposes, it starts on May 15th because they put out their tropical weather outlooks, but technically it doesn't start until June 1st. You know, I think at the end of the day, we know the 6 month, the half of a year that hurricanes are most likely to occur is here. The half of a year that they're not is here. We extend it a couple of days here or there. That's just Mother Nature does not follow a calendar. So, yeah. Yeah, well, that's okay. All right, so we're talking about how texts are misunderstood. Janet makes such a great point. Texts are also misunderstood when people use incorrect punctuation or lack thereof. Exactly. Yep. Oh, you want to look at the raw numbers? Yeah, hold on. You want to look at the raw numbers. Hold on. Copy. I got to put it over here. Paste. Okay. Okay. All right. Raw GFS numbers. Meteograms. Oh my God, there we are. Okay. Meteograms. That's Kennedy Airport. Don't look at that. All right. GFS. Let me find it. Y'all, I'm so tired. GFS numbers. That's pretty nice. I won't shake a stick at that. Here's your raw GFS numbers for the next couple days. You can see that front that the models are talking about there on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of next week. Oh, that's Orlando, man. Love that. Vanessa says, I loved your ice cream cone analogy, and I love Marquise's figure skating segment. So great to see the visual explanation. We have to do what we have to do, right? Any way that we can get the point across. Our local meteorologist had to stop and instructed everyone to take a deep breath and then ask for water live on air. Oh my God. Man. Good times. Mother Nature will be Mother Nature. It's true. Thank you somehow doesn't seem enough, but listen, Terry, thank you all. Listen, at the end of the day, let's just be very real with one another. It's my job, right? I take my job very seriously. This part of the job is awful though. Like I don't want to be there. You don't want to have to deal with a hurricane. None of us want to do hurricanes. But my job is fun when I get to talk about beautiful weather. My job is not fun when I have to talk about crummy weather. Every job has its things. Yeah. Tiffany, internet issues at the house? Absolutely. I'm coming to you via cellular telephone. I mean, I'm on my computer, but cellular internet. Yeah. At this point, I think my kids are trying to match Milton's energy and mess it left behind inside my home. I would agree with that. I would agree with that. How do the boys handle the storm? Must be so hard for you not being with them in these situations and hard for your wife too. It's awful for her because I kind of have to throw everything together at the house before like we tell you to prepare for the hurricane, right? I have to do the same thing, except I come in like a darn tornado getting it done and then it's like, all right, peace and leave. And then and it's like I have to make sure that there's food and water, and I try to do everything I can to prepare them, which is what anybody needs to do. But then I leave, and then and what's worst is like, she's just there with these crazies, and like none of this is fun for anybody, whether you're covering the storm, whether you're living through the storm, and that's why it's like we all went through it together. So yeah. All right, enough. I'm done. I'm tired. Yeah, exactly. Brian's like much like being a first responder. That's why it's like I don't think that my family has it any worse than others. I don't think I have it any worse than others. There are people that are driving around saving lives. Those are the people that y'all should be thanking. I'm a weather guy, man. And I'm grateful for your kind words. I'm grateful I have the opportunity to help you. But the people that I want to thank are the people that in the middle of a hurricane or the second the hurricane is cleared through, they're wrestling around trying to save lives. I love y'all for being kind to me. I'm not out there saving lives. At least, no, I'm not. So those are the people I want to thank. I want to thank the people that are getting power back on for those that need kidney dialysis so that they can take the life-saving medical procedures each and every day or every couple of days. Those are the people that I want to thank. The linemen and women that leave Omaha, Nebraska, come down to Florida to help us rebuild, leaving their families for weeks on end, working those 18-hour shifts, or I forget whose sister-in-law is working an 18-hour shift in the office at Duke. Those are the people that I want to thank. I appreciate y'all for the kindness, but this is my job. Leaving your families as a lineman or linewoman, not necessarily the thing. So anyway, thank you. Thank you all for your kind words. But let's always just look for the helpers. Those are the people that truly have my gratitude, and I know yours as well. So thank you. All right, I'm gonna go. I don't even know. I think I'm doing the noon and 4. There was talk. Where's Chopper 2? There's also talk. November 7, Yankee Juliet. Where's the helicopter? Is it coming back? Live tracker. Where is it? Okay, it made it to Orlando late last night. Okay, it made it to Orlando late last night. So there was talk of me in the helicopter today. There was talk of me doing the noon and 4. I have no idea where I'm going to end up, but we'll figure it out. All right. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you so much for hanging out for Coffee Talk. For those of you that are new, we do this 7 days a week. Hurricanes, we do it. Sunshine on our shoulder, we do it. But please, if you see those first responders, those people that are really doing good, thank them. I know I sure as heck will. All right. Take care, everybody. I'll see you at some point on TV today. If not, Coffee Talk.